श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां वन्दे शम्भुमापतिं सुरगुरुं वन्दे जगत्कारणं वन्दे पन्नगभूषणं मृगधरं वन्दे पशूनां पतिं वन्दे सूर्यशशाङ्कवह्निनयनं वन्दे मुकुन्दप्रियं वन्दे भक्तजनाश्रयश्च वरदं वन्दे शिवं शङ्करम्. With the abundant blessings of our Periva, we started this series on Suvarna Mala Stuthi last Saturday. During this Skandashishti festival, that was in fact the beginning day of the Skandashishti festival, just after the Deepavali. We are fortunate to be able to continue this series with the blessings of our Periva. We have completed, I think, up to shloka number 6. We are now moving on to shloka number 7, which is appearing on the screen. ऋषिवर मानस हंस चराचर जनन स्थितिलय कारण भो सांब सदा शिव शंभो शंकर शरणं मे तव चरणयुगम्. ऋषिवर मानस हंस चराचर जनन स्थिति लय कारण हो. ऋषिवर मानस हंस. Hamsa is swan. Swan moving about in the minds, manasa, of Rishivara, of the best of rishis. Because it is only the best of rishis who are able to enjoy uninterrupted concentration on Parameshwara. So he says Rishivara. Manasa Hamsa. Always Hamsa stands for knowledge. Hamsa stands for discrimination. Knowledge and discrimination are very important for reaching Parameshwara. He says, that is why Hamsa here. That is why Paramhamsas are known as Paramhamsas, because they are supreme Hamsas. They know what to filter out, what to concentrate on. So that is knowledge and discrimination. So Rishivara Manasa Hamsa. Now, this rishis are able to continue with their dhyana uninterruptedly. That is a Rishivara. Even in Dhyana Shloka of Vishnu Sahasranama, we say Dhyanavasthita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yogino. Dhyanavasthita Tadgatena Manasa. Because only when dhyana is complete, only when meditation is complete, only when our focus is perfect, then only you can say Tadgatena Manasa. Then only you can say the mind has completely gone towards Bhagavan. Pashyanti yam yoginaha. Then only yogis can perceive Bhagavan in their hearts. That is what he is saying. Rishivara Manasa Hamsa. So you are the Hamsa moving about in the minds of the best of rishis. Charachara Janana Sthiti Laya Karana. Charachara is a description of the world in which we live. Moving and non-moving objects. Chara, achara. Chara is moving, achara is non-moving. Because if you look at the composition of the world we live in, it consists of only these two types. Either an object moves or it doesn't move. Like a water body, like a mountain, they don't move. But living beings keep moving. So chara, achara. So all the world is covered by this description, chara, achara. Janana sthiti laya karana. He is the cause of janana, of generation, of creation, sthiti, of protection. Laya is destruction or absorption. Laya actually means absorption, not destruction. When you say samhara, it means destruction. Here he says laya. Laya means absorption, because it is he who creates out of himself. It is he who protects the created world out of his own power, which is Maya Shakti, and it is he who absorbs the created world into himself. This is Janana Sthiti Laya. So he is the sole cause, Karana. He is the sole cause. But we understand that Brahma is the one who creates, Vishnu is the one who protects, and Rudra is the one who absorbs. But these Brahma, Vishnu, and Rudra are aspects of Parameshwara. That is why he says Karana. By creating Brahma, Vishnu, and Rudra, he causes creation, sustenance, and absorption of all moving and non moving objects. So, Samba Sadashiva Shambho Shankara Sharanam Me Tava Charana Yugam. Bho is a form of address for people whom we want to respect. We have seen it before. So, Sadashiva, accompanied by Amba, O storehouse of auspiciousness, Shambhu, O creator of auspiciousness, Shankara, may your twin feet be my refuge. In my last lecture in Tamil, I mentioned that one has to be careful in pronunciation. Sanskrit is a bhasha which is very much linked with pronunciation. Sharanam, Charanam, it comes here. Now, if you say instead of Sharanam, if you say Charanam, and if you say Sharanam instead of Charanam, instead of Charana Yugam, you say Sharana Yugam, then it will give entirely opposite meaning, entirely very wrong meaning. So one has to be very careful in pronunciation. That is why I don't very much like people who read Sanskrit sutras from Tamil script. I've been advocating that they should learn Devanagari script. This I mentioned in my last lecture also. It doesn't take much effort. Nowadays, there are lots of facilities for learning Tamil script. Just learn the script, just to read capability to read. That doesn't take more than 3-4 weeks of effort. And once you put in that effort, this problem is totally gone once and for all. So you can pronounce properly. I also mentioned in my last lecture that when we started in 2021, Shankara Stotra Makaranda lectures, Periyava called me and specifically told me to concentrate on these 4 aspects. The first was Ucharana, pronunciation. That is very important. That is what we just now referred to. Second is Padachedam, the splitting of words, because we have long sandhi, words of sandhi in Sanskritam. That is the speciality of Sanskritam. Janana, Sthiti, Laya, Karana. There are 4 words inside the single word. So you should know how to split. Supposing you split a Janana, Sthiti, Laya, Karana, it has no meaning or it may convey a different meaning. So how to split correctly? Then, after having split, the meaning of each of those words, Pratipadartham. Then the last is Tatparyam of the Shlokam, overall content, overall purport of the Shlokam. He said you should teach these 4 aspects to the students. He was very categorical, very clear in his instruction, and I have been trying to abide by this instruction all along in all the lectures which we have been doing from 2021 onwards. We did recently Durga Chandrakala Stuti, we did Lakshmi Lalita Sahasranamam, we did Vande Gurur Mandalam, we did Mukha Panchashati, all sessions we have strictly followed this procedure, and our slides which are shown on the screen are also in Devanagari, and for this sake of those who don't want to learn Devanagari, we are also showing in Tamil and English scripts. So ऋषिवर मानस हंस चराचर जनन स्थितिलय कारण भो सांब सदा शिव शंभो शंकर शरणम मे तव चरण युगम. This continuous dhyana, Rishivar Manasa Hamsa, is very important. This has been repeatedly mentioned in our Shastras. Why? Because Bhagavan says in Gita that the last thought of a living being at the time he leaves his body is what determines his next birth. Very categorical statement is there in Bhagavad Gita. Yo yo yam yam param kalebaram. It's very clear on that. So, it is important to be continuously meditating on Bhagavan throughout your life because the last thought will not come on its own unless you have made it a habit. This is what he is now trying to say, Rishivara Manasakam sir. Now we go to the next one. Rikshadhisha Kirita Mahoksha Rudha Vidhrita Rudraksha Vibho Samba Sada Shiva Shambho Shankara Sharanam Metava Charana Yugam. Rikshadhisha Kirita. He is wearing a crown, Kirita. Of what? Crown of what? Crown marked by Chandra. Rikshadhisha is Chandra. Riksha means nakshatra, stars. Riksha Adhisha, one who is the Lord of the stars. That is, Lord of nakshatra. That is Chandra. Chandra is adorning his crown. Crown is what? He is not wearing a golden crown. He is wearing a crown of matted locks. So on that matted locks, on the crown of matted locks, that is his kirita, that is being adorned by Chandra. Mahoksha Rudha. Mahoksha means a large bull. Maha Ukshaha. The large bull. Arudha, Mahoksha Arudha. One who has ascended the large bull. That is Nandi, his mount, his Vahana. The word Nandi itself means very happy, extremely happy, because he is carrying Parameshwara. He is the Vahana for Parameshwara. Okay, he is ever happy. There is no moment when he is unhappy. When he is not carrying Bhagavan, he functions as a doorkeeper in Kailas. He is having a danda in his hand, and then he stands at the gate, and then he regulates those who go inside for darshan. He regulates them. If Shiva is available for darshan or not, at what time he would be available, etc., etc. He is the one who communicates all this. When a big group is there for darshan, this is all coming in Purana, Shiva Purana, etc., Skanda Purana, etc. When they was going big groups with a representation headed by Vishnu, all these things are there. So then what happens? So they go and get seated in that hall. Shiva is there, Ambika is there. At that time, what does Nandi do? Nandi asks everyone to get up and he introduces. When Vishnu gets up, he says, this is Vishnu. When Brahma gets up, he says, this is Brahma. When Indra gets up, he says, this is Indra, and so on. This kind of introduction he does. This is also described in Puranas as part of his duty. So that is Moksha Rudha. Actually, Nandi was born as a human being to a saint called Shilada. He is known as Shilada Putra. The Shilada was a great Shiva Bhakta and he wanted a great Shiva Bhakta as his son. Then Shiva appeared before him. He was pleased with his tapas and he blessed him with Nandi. And Nandi was born. Nandi also performed tapas and he became the vehicle for Shiva. Now, another great important feature of Nandi is that he represents Dharma. The bull represents Dharma. Vrishabha represents Dharma. So that means what? That means Dharma is the favorite of Shiva. Adharma is something which he does not like. He likes Dharma. So he mounts Dharma. He propagates Dharma. He takes Nandi wherever he goes. So wherever he goes, Dharma goes with him. In fact, there is a story in Skanda Puranam that once Vishnu was looking at this phenomenon of Nandi carrying Shiva everywhere, Nandi being the representation of dharma. He went and pleaded with Shiva, one day I want to be your mount. I want to be a representation of dharma. And he was permitted, and he became a bull for one day. He took the place of Nandi. This has been described in Puranas. So that is the greatness of Nandi. This only shows the importance which Nandi enjoys in Shiva Sabha. Vidhrita Rudraksha, one who wears Rudraksha. Vidhrita Rudraksha, one who wears Rudraksha. Now on Rudraksha, lot of matter has been given in Puranas. Tremendous amount of matter is there. Lot of stories, lot of different types of information about various types of Rudrakshas, how Rudraksha came into being, etc., etc. Now, Rudraksha came into being like this. When Shiva was planning for Tripura Samhara, he went into meditation and he was meditating on Aghora Astra. Aghora Astra. And how long he meditated? He meditated for 1,000 divine years. 1,000 divine years. And at the end of this long period of tapas, he opened his eyes. When he opened his eyes, some tear drops fell from his eyes. So those teardrops became Rudrakshas, Rudra Aksha, the eyes of Rudra. Now, the ones the Rudraksha trees which came from the right eye, which is the Surya Netra, or of Kapila Varna, tawny color, brown color. And they are of 12 types. This is all the Puranas give all this information. The left one, the Chandra Netri, is white and it has 16 types. Look at the number of types. And the third, Agni Netra, the Rudraksha is black color and it has 10 types, so many types. And every Rudraksha has got Brahma in the face, Rudra on the top, and bottom Vishnu. Like the Ashwatha tree, we say, isn't it? Agrataha, Prishtataha, Molatha, etc. So similarly, the number of faces of Rudraksha varies from 1 to 14. And for each phase, each type of Rudraksha, there is a speciality. Now, if it is a single phase, it's a very rare Rudraksha, which has only a single phase, that represents Shiva. If it has 6 phases, 6 divisions, then it represents Subramanya. If it has 14 phases, which is again rare, then separate list of benefits has been given for each of the 14 phases. So for each of 1, 2, 3, 4, for everyone there is a list. And there is a story to illustrate the greatness of Rudraksha. This is, I think, in Devi Bhagavatam. It says, there was a donkey in Vindhya mountains which was carrying a load of Rudraksha, heavy load of Rudraksha. And as it was ascending the hill, because of the load, it became tired and it fell down dead. It could not carry the load any further. It fell down dead. The moment it fell down dead, the donkey assumed a figure of Rudragana with 3 eyes and with Trishula. And there was a Vimana. And it took that Rudragana to Shivaloka. This is what is recorded. So that is the greatness of Rudraksha. In fact, Devi Bhagavatam goes into great detail on the greatness of glory of Rudraksha. Rudraksham kevalam vapi yatra putram bhamate samantrakam va mantrena rahitam bhavavarjitam yova kova naro bhaktya dharaye lajjayapi va sarva papa vinirmuktah samyajnanam avapniyate. Yatra putra, from wherever source, whichever source he gets Rudraksha, and he wears with knowing the mantra, chanting the mantra, or without the mantra, samantrakam va mantrena rahita. Bhava varjitam, he may not have even proper devotion towards Rudraksha, and he may even be ashamed of wearing. Dharayetu lajjayapiva. Even then, he is freed from all sins. Samyak jnanam avapniyat. He attains the highest jnana. So that is Rudraksha. Vidhrita Rudraksha Vibho. Vibho means we have seen before. Many stanzas we have been seeing. All pervasive. There is no place which is without the presence of Parameshwara. Samba Sadashiva Shambho Shankara Sharanam Me Tava Charana Yugam Vrikshadhisha Kirita Mahoksha Rudha Vidhrita Rudraksha Vibho Samba Sadashiva Shambho Shankara Sharanam Me Tava Charana Yugam. Next. Ravarnadvantam Avranta Sukusumam Evangrau Tavarpayami Vibho Samba Sadashiva Shambho Shankara Sharanam Me Tava Charana Yugam. This is a very different type of presentation in this shloka. Adi Shankara presents a totally different type of thought and very beautiful. He says, now if you follow the alphabet, we have covered A, I, U, R, Rishivara, Rikshadhisha. Then after that we come to R. R has got also two, R and R, the short and the long. Now he is not giving two shlokas for both of them, like he did for R. What he does is, both of them he covers in one shloka. That is why instead of 51 shlokas for 51 aksharas, we have 50 shlokas for 51 aksharas. Two aksharas are covered in this one shloka. Rivarna Dvandva, Varna is akshara. R akshara, which are two. Rivarna Dvandva, the two aksharas which are R and R. Dvandvam, those two aksharas. Avranta Sukusumam Iva Angrau. There he comes out with a very beautiful simile. Avranta Sukusumam Iva, like a beautiful flower. Sukusumam Iva. What type of beautiful flower? Avranta. Avranta means without the stalk, without the stem. A flower without a stem. It is so beautiful. Stem is a hindrance. So without the stem is beautiful. Is stalk, the flower stalk. Without the stalk, beautiful flower. Why he says? Because if you write R, it looks like a beautiful flower, and the Vrinta is not there. The stalk is not there. So Avrinta Sukusumam Eva. Now scholars have interpreted this as not just flower. Actually, it means eyes. Because if you see the letter R, it looks as if there are two eyes, isn't it? The letter R represents as if it looks like two eyes. So I am submitting, I am dedicating my two eyes. Tava arpayami. I am dedicating my two eyes. Angrav, in your feet. In your feet. First he says, like the flowers without stalk, I am submitting, I am dedicating the two letters of R. That is what direct meaning says. It doesn't say eyes. But since the letter R looks like eyes, the indirect meaning is, that is the beauty. Indirect meaning is, I am dedicating my eyes, which look like two R letters. Tava Angrav, at your feet, Arpayami, I am dedicating, O Vibho. Now, all of you may be remembering how Vishnu himself dedicated his eye at the feet of Shiva when he was performing Shiva Sahasranama Archana, and he had collected 1,000 beautiful lotus flowers. One flower was short at the end, and he didn't know how to complete the puja, so he plucked one of his eyes and then he dedicated it at the feet of Shiva, and that is how he got the Chakrayudha. That was the occasion when Shiva granted Chakrayudha to Vishnu. That is the story which has been given in many Puranas. So eyes are the most valuable for the human being. That is what the story also represents, Vishnu's story. And the most valuable is what we should give to Bhagavan. That is the lesson. We should not give something which we don't like, something which we want to part with. That kind of offering we should not make to Bhagavan. Whatever we consider as the most valuable, whatever we would not like to part with normally, is the one we should part with immediately at the feet of Bhagavan. Why? Because whatever we possess, there is nothing like our possession. That is what Shastra says repeatedly, Vedanta Shastra. So we have to remember that. Whatever we possess is the possession of Bhagavan. But Bhagavan only possesses, we are only tenant in a house. Like that, this body itself is a tenanted house, and we live in the tenanted house for the prescribed time, and we leave the house. So whatever objects of enjoyment we have with us are also given by the owner of the house. So he is the owner, he is the Prabhu, he is the Vibhu. So we have to dedicate all our valuable possessions to him. That is the lesson he is driving at by saying this, indirectly referring to the eyes. Samba Sada Shiva Shambho Shankara Sharanam Me Tava Sharana Yugam. May your twin feet be my refuge. River Nadvandva Dvandva Avranta Sukusumivanghrau Tavarpaya Me Vibho. Rivarnadvandvam avranta sukusumam ivanghrau tavarpaya me vibho. Samba sada shiva shambho shankara sharanam me tava sharnayugam. After R comes A. So he is starting with A. Ekam saditi shrutya tameva sadasi ityupasmahe mridabho. Samba sada shiva shambho shankara sharanam me tava sharnayugam. Now he is going to the highest Vedanta lesson in this shloka. He says, Ekam sat iti shrutya tvameva sat asi iti upasmahe mrida ho. He is calling Shiva as Mrida. Mrida means one who is benevolent, one who gives comfort to us. He is Mrida. Mridaya, Mrida, these words come in Sri Rudram, the famous passage. याते रुद्र शिवा तनु शिवा विश्वास भेषजी शिवा रुद्रस्य भेषजी तयानो मृडगी वसे. There also it says that. So you are auspicious, your body is auspicious, your body is Vishwaha Bheshaji, is the medicine for the entire world, and Ambika is your own doctor. Shiva Rudrasya Bheshaji Tayano Mridaji Vase. That is why you are living and you are blessing all of us. And you are the source of comfort for us, Mrida. You are the source of benevolence. So he says, because you are source of benevolence, you are source of comfort, and you are the only one which is true. Ekam Sat, the only one which truly exists, because the world around us does not exist. The world around us is only false, mithya. So, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. This is the summary of Vedanta as proclaimed by Adi Shankara. Brahman, Parabrahman is the only truth. Jagan Mithya, the world is an illusion. Mithya means not untruth. Untruth means something which is beyond the realm of possibility. It doesn't exist. But world is existing. We are living in the world. We are experiencing the world. So it is an illusion. It appears to exist, but it doesn't exist in reality. So that is mithya. It is not asatya. Brahma satyam, jagat asatyam, he didn't say. He says jagan mithya. Devo Brahma even aparaha. This Jivatma, whom we give a separate identity, we consider it as a separate entity because each of the Jivas we consider separate Jivas. But actually there are no separate Jivas, there is only one Brahma, Parabrahma. Devo Brahma eva na aparaha. He is no different from Brahman. This is what Vedanta says. That is why he says, Ekam Sat. There is only one which truly exists. Who says this? It is Shrutya. Shruti says this. Veda says this. Ekam Sat Bahudha Vipra vadanti. This is a very famous passage in Rig Veda. Only one reality exists. Bahudha vipra vadanti. The scholars who know the truth, they tell us by different names. Bahudha vadanti. Just for one existing truth, they give different names. There's only names. Bahudha vipra vadanti. Ekam sat iti shrutya. So Shruti says that. So from that I came to know. Tvameva sat asi iti upasmahe. That truth, which is referred to in Vedas as Ekam. Only one truth exists, it says. But that one truth is yourself. Tvameva sat asi. You are the one who really exists. You only. Tvameva. You only. Sat asi. You are the one who can be called Sat as existing. Because nothing else is capable of being called as existing. Because you are Sat, Chit, Anandam. That is the definition of Parabrahman. So you are the Parabrahman. So you are Sat. And there is no other Sat other than you. So Tameva Sat Asi. You are the only Sat. Iti upasmahe. With that consideration, we worship you. We worship you with this consideration. And you are a source of comfort for us. You are a source of benevolence for us. So you will look at us with compassion, that we know. So, and you are the only truth. So we come and pray to you. So please grant our prayer. And you are our refuge. Charanam me tava charanayugam. So this is the highest Advaita philosophy which has come in this sloka. Highest Advaita philosophy, you are Satchidananda. There is no other Satchidananda other than yourself. And we worship you because not only you are Satchidananda, you are also Mrida, you are also a source of comfort. You will look at us with compassion, look at us with benevolence. Ekam saditi shrutya tameva sadasi ityupasmahe mridabho samba sada shiva shambho shankara charanam me tava charanayugam. Next. Next is I. ऐक्यं निजभक्तेभ्यो वितरति विश्वम्भरोऽत्र साक्षी भो साम्ब सदा शिव शम्भो शङ्कर शरणं मे तव चरणयुगम्. ऐक्यं निजभक्तेभ्यो वितरसि. Vitarasi means distribution. Vitarana means distribution. That shows Bhagavan is very compassionate. Otherwise, you will not use the word Vitarasi. Vitarasi means you distribute. What you distribute? You distribute Aikyam. You distribute oneness with you. That is the greatest moksha, Sayujyam. Granting of oneness with you. You distribute that. Whom do you distribute? It cannot be distributed to everyone, obviously. Nija bhaktebhyo, to your devotees. Though it looks very simple, Nija bhaktebhyo, it means one who is qualified for moksha. Because Bhagavan gives jnana. Jnana nikhet maheshwara. From Parameshwara only you have to get jnana. And when he gives jnana, you automatically get moksha. That is the meaning. So, and when will you get jnana? When you have proved your devotion. Nija bhaktebhyo. And there are 4 levels of moksha which we have seen before. They are called Sarupyam, Salokyam, Samipyam, and Sayujyam. This is described in various Shastra texts. Sarupyam is the first level of moksha where you have the same form as Ishvara, Rudraganas, similarly Vishnu's Parshadas. They will all look like Vishnu, with Shankha, Chakra, etc. Same appearance. Similarly, Rudraganas, look, just now we saw the donkey becoming a Rudragana. So they look like Shiva only, with 3 eyes and Trishula, etc., etc. So he says that is Sarupyam, first level of Mukti. The second level is Salokya. You may look like him, but you may not be living in the same world as him, same realm. That is Kailasa or Vaikuntha, Salokyam. That is sharing the same premises. That is Salokyam. Then Samipyam. living very close. You may be sharing the premises, you may be several kilometers away from Bhagavan. That is not desirable. So Samipyam, living close to him. A close parshada, close attendant. We have nowadays personal assistants, isn't it? We are very close to the boss. So similarly, so Samipyam. So this higher level of moksha than the first two. Then finally is Sayudyam. Sayudyam means becoming one with him. That is the aikyam which is being referred to here. There is no difference between you and Bhagavan. You become part of Bhagavan. You become indistinguishable from Bhagavan. That is aikyam. That is Sayudyam. That is the fourth and final level of mukti. So that he grants compassionately to his bhaktas. Nija bhaktebhyo. Nija means own. To his own bhaktas he gives. Vishwambharaha atra sakshi bho. Atra means here. Here means in this world. In this world, Vishwambharaha, you are the sustainer of this universe. Because everyone is not entitled to jnana. Everyone is not entitled to moksha. Everyone does not have bhakti. But should they be allowed to die? No. They are all being given food. They are all being given shelter. They are all being given clothes. They are all being given all comforts. Who gives all this? Man cannot produce even a blade of grass. That is well known. How we get all this? Only because of Parameshwara's compassion. So he is known as Vishwambharaha, one who sustains, one who nourishes the universe. Though the universe is not capable of Nija Bhakti, though the universe is not capable of Nija Bhakti, still he goes out of the way, he nourishes them with the hope one day they will all become bhaktas, they will all attain moksha. That is his hope. Vishwambharaha, atra sakshi bhu. When he sustains the universe, it's not as if he is living in some faraway place and then he is sending supplies to us and then he lives his own life. No. He is pervading the entire universe. The entire universe, he is there. There is no speck without his presence. So, Sakshi, he is the witness of all your thoughts, all your actions, all your speech, Trikarana, all this, he is the eternal witness. Always he is there. This witness is very important in Vedanta because if you remove the concept of witness, then you cannot have the experience of Bhagavan in your hridayam. Because that is what we said, isn't it? Rishivara Manasa Hamsa. So that experience of perceiving Bhagavan in your heart is possible only if he is a Sakshi present everywhere. Because you cannot say, "Oh, anyway, I am not qualified for jnana, so there's no question of my perceiving Bhagavan in my heart." You don't know what your qualification is, capability is. That only Bhagavan knows. Where we have got instances where people whom we consider as not qualified have become great jnanis overnight. Have become great jnanis over Kannappa Nayanar. Did anyone know that he will become eligible for moksha during that time? No one knew. No one knew, including himself. So this is the fact. That is why he is always there, always present as a witness, so that he monitors your progress, he blesses your progress, he wants you to progress, he wants to vitarasi, he wants to give vitarana of the jnana. So he is Sakshi. That Sakshi concept is very important because that is the hope for us because he is there to guide us. Witness does not mean simply just looking at us and remaining quiet. It of course means that because he doesn't interfere in our thought process or in our speech or in our actions. We are entirely free to do whatever we like, to speak whatever we like, to think whatever we like. We are entirely free. That freedom has been given to us. But he is a Sakshi. So once you develop this Sakshi concept, you will always get the guidance. Without the Sakshi concept, how will you get the guidance? If he is going to be away somewhere, you may not get the guidance. So you are sure of getting the guidance you are sure of making progress because he is Sakshi. So it's a very important concept. And Vedanta uses the Sakshi concept for us in terms of dreams. There are three states which Vedanta describes: waking state, dream state, and deep sleep state. Now, when to tell us that he is a Sakshi always present with us, they use these three states for establishing that fact. They say during waking state, you have the power to do so many things. Who gave you the power? Because he is present with you in your body. He is the Sakshi. Otherwise, how did you get the power to speak? How did you get the power to do whatever you are doing with your body? Okay. Okay, you don't agree with this. Then let us come to the dream state. Now, in dream, you are doing so many things, though it is dream. And not only that, after waking up, you remember all that. That means there is one entity who is common to the two states, the dream as well as waking state. Then only you will be able to remember, isn't it? If you are a different person during dream, different from the waking person, then there is no question of your remembering the dreams in all detail. You are able to remember. So that means there is a constant factor. That constant factor is Sakshi. And the third one, that is the deep sleep state. Deep sleep also you remember. You are saying, no, yeah, I feel very much relieved. I had very good sleep last night. Beautiful. How do you remember? Because during the sleep, there is no sense of body. All organs have gone to sleep. Nothing is working except the internal organs like heart, etc. Let us forget that. Now, all your limbs are inactive. Your mind is totally at rest. At that point of time, how do you recollect that you have 7 hours, 6 hours I slept? How do you say that? So that means there is a common factor in all the three states: waking state, dream state, and the deep sleep state. That common factor is the Sakshi, is Bhagavan. He is always present with you in your body. So the Sakshi concept is very much required for explaining the three states in Vedanta. Now, if you consider what Upanishads say about this, there is a very famous passage in Mundaka Upanishad, which is repeated in other Upanishads. Even Puranas, even Devi Bhagavatam repeats this. Dva suparna sayuja sakhaya samanam vriksham parishasvajate tayoranyat pippalam swadvakti anashnan anyaha abhishakashiti. Dva suparna, there are two birds. This is a very beautiful way of saying that in the same body, there are two entities. One is Jivatma, another is Paramatma. It's not as if Paramatma is not present. That is the Sakshi we will just now saw. So Paramatma is present, but in fact there is no difference between Jivatma and Paramatma. But we, because of our ignorance, we think there is a different Jivatma who is associated with the body. So he says Dvasuparna. There are two birds on the same tree. This is the illustration. Two birds on the same tree. Samanam Vriksham. Sayuja Sakhaya, they are actually very close friends. Parishasvajate, they are sitting on the same branch of the tree. They are sitting in the tree on the same branch. Tayoranya Pippalam Swadu Atti. Out of the two birds, one bird keeps on eating the fruits of the tree. Pippalam Swadu means tasty fruits. He doesn't know whether the fruit is tasty or not. That is the interpretation. Because we experience misery as well as happiness in this world, isn't it? Nobody experiences only happiness, nobody experiences only misery. So the fruits also come in different tastes in the same tree. So pippalam, the fruits, one bird picks up the fruits. Some of them are tasty, some of them are not tasty. That they know only after tasting. Swadu akti, it keeps on eating. Anashnan anyaha abhishakasiti. The other bird does not eat at all any fruit. Anashnan, asnani means I eat. Anashnan means without eating. Anyaha, the other bird, abhishakasiti, just watching. That is Sakshi. Just watching this bird. So the Upanishad says further that this bird, having tasted different types of fruits, finally it keeps moving towards the other bird, because that bird is higher up on the same branch, so it keeps moving towards that bird. Finally, it becomes one with that bird. That's what the Upanishad says. Because it has lost interest in the fruits. It has lost interest in the fruits because it has been tasting sweet as well as bitter fruits. So it wants to get out of this experience. So that is the time when you develop vairagya, then that is the time when Bhagavan gives you jnana. So that is what the Upanishad says. That is what is mentioned as Sakshi here. Out of the two birds, one is the Sakshi. Samba Sada Shiva Shambho Shankara Sharanam Me Tava Charana Yugam Aikyam Nija Bhaktebhyo Vitarasi Vishwambharotra Sakshi Bho Samba Sada Shiva Shambho Shankara Sharanam Me Tava Charana Yugam. Next. Om iti tava ओमिति तव निर्देष्ट्री मायास्माकं मृडोपकर्त्री भो सांब सदा शिव शंभो शंकर शरणं मे तव चरणयुगम् ओमिति तव निर्देष्ट्री now you are saying Bhagavan gives jnana. Now there are many ways jnana can be attained, no doubt. Many ways are this karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga. Now one simple way is being described here, that is the meditation on Omkara. Om iti tava nirdeshtri. Nirdeshtri means indicator. Nirdesha is an indication. Nirdeshtri. Strilingam is used because for certain words, Strilinga has been given in Sanskrit grammar. So Om iti tava nirdeshtri. And because it is followed by Maya, Maya is Strilingam, that is nirdeshtri. Om iti tava nirdeshtri Maya. It's a very complicated but very simply put theory. What he says is, Om is your indicator. Om iti tava nirdeshtri. That means if we keep on meditating on Om, we are meditating on Parameshwara. Because Om indicates you. Maya asmakam mrida upakartri. Oh, mrida is an address, we leave it. Maya asmakam upakartri. Maya is helping us. Upakartri means upakar, one who does upakar. Upakartri, Strilingam. Maya asmakam, for us, Maya is of great help. Oh, why he says that? When he said Om is an indicator, then why he says Maya is helping us? Because we are living in the world of Maya. Very difficult for us to get out of Maya unless Maya itself comes and helps us. That is why we fall at the feet of Ambika. Because Ambika represents Maya Shakti. Without her help, nothing can be achieved. Nothing can be achieved. So he says, Maya asmakam upakatri. It is Maya, which is the experience of the world. In the previous example also we saw, by eating bitter and sweet fruits, the bird is making advancement towards the other bird. That is what Upanishad says. So similarly, Maya, after being experienced over a long time, the same Maya helps you to make progress. Maya asmagam upakartri. The same Maya helps you to progress towards Bhagavan. Now, Bhagavan is indicated by Om. Now there is a subtle and beautiful way where he is linking the two. Because Om, what is the meaning of Om? Om, though it represents Parameshwara, Parabrahman, it also represents Maya. Because there are three letters, A, U, Ma, and finally the Bindu, Ardhamatra. And A, U, Ma represents Brahma, Vishnu, and Rudra. The creation, sustenance, and absorption. These three processes are represented by Ma, Brahma, Vishnu, and Rudra. You can also interpret in Om has got a lot of interpretation, many interpretations. You can also interpret as waking state, dream state, and deep sleep state. So that is also part of Maya. Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra also are contributing to Maya by creating, sustaining, and destroying, absorbing the creation. So we are all still in Maya. In these three letters, we are still in the created world, which is the Maya, the field of Maya. Now, you have to get out of Maya field. That is the Bindu, that is the Ardhamatra, Om. It's not O. Avuma, Uma. No, it is Om. That is Ardhamatra, which is Parabrahma, which is beyond the three, which is Bhagavan. So, Om represents not just Parabrahma, it also represents Maya, it also represents creation. That is what he says. So, when I meditate on Om, I am meditating on you. I am also praying to Maya Shakti to help me. Maya Asmakam Upakartri. So, automatically, I am getting help from this world in which I live. I am getting help from this world in which by eating sweet and bitter fruits, the fruits are helping, isn't it, for advancement, for developing Vairagya. Same thing here. So the Maya Shakti is helping me, and you are the final destination. That is what he says. Now, on this, there are lots of references on this, whatever we discuss now. Bhagavad Gita says, Omityekaksharam Brahma Vyaharanmam Manusmaran Yaprayati Tejandeham Kayati Paramam Gatim. One who meditates on Om at the moment he leaves the body, he gets Paramam Gatim, the supreme state. Omiti Ekaksharam, there is only a single letter. Omiti Ekaksharam Brahma, but it is representing Brahma. Vyaharan Mamanusmaran, by chanting Om and at the same time meditating on Bhagavan. If the living being leaves the body, yaprayati tajam deham, sayati paramam gatim. So, Om helps in transcending Maya, though it is also part of Maya. That is why sannyasis have been asked to chant Om only. They don't chant other stotras, other mantra japas, etc., like we do. They are they are enjoined to chant Om only all the time because that is Omkara is Jnana. And Upanishad also talks about these two divisions, like we saw the two birds in more explicit terms in Chandogya Upanishad. We referred to it in one of the earlier lectures. Paravidya and Aparavidya. Para is the supreme knowledge, Apara is not so supreme, the ordinary knowledge, Aparavidya. All knowledge which we think as knowledge, including Vedas, Shastras, etc., whatever we think we have acquired, that all comes under the category of Aparavidya. When Narada went to Sanat Kumara saying, I need Brahmajnana from you, please teach me Brahmajnana, then Sanat Kumara asked him, this comes in Chandogya Upanishad. Sanat Kumara asked him, what do you know? Because only when the teacher knows what you know, then he can start from there, isn't it? Even in schools, if somebody goes to fourth standard, he has completed third standard. The knowledge of third standard is with him. So like that. So he asked him, what do you know? Then he gave a big list. I know this, I know that, Veda, Shastra, a very long list. Then Sanat Kumara summed it up in one word. He said, well, you know a lot, but what is required to be known, you don't know. By knowing one thing, whatever list you gave, everything else becomes known. By knowing one thing, everything else becomes known. That one thing you don't know. Then Narada said, that is why I have come to you, to know that one thing. Then he uses these terms, Paravidya and Paravidya, in that context. Sa para yayada daksharam adhigamyate, the Upanishad says. That is Paravidya, by which one experiences Parabrahman. Aksharam adhigamyate. That is their experience. That is not knowledge. Knowledge is different from experience. So if you are going to experience, Kannappa Nayanar experienced moksham, how did he get there? He didn't have any knowledge. What we consider as normal bookish knowledge. No, he didn't have. So, sa para, yaya tatu aksharam adhigamyate. That is the definition of paravidya. Now, so there is also this kind of difference. The two birds, like Om also contains both Maya as well as the Parabrahma. So, in fact, there is a Pranava Sahasranama Stotram. Pranava Sahasranama Stotram. There, in the Jnana Shloka, says beautifully describes what is Om. On Om, there are many interpretations. Now, there one beautiful description is there. Omkaram Nigamaika Vedya Manisham Vedanta Tattvaspadam Totpatyasthiti Mamalam Vishwasya Vishwatmakam Vishwatrana Parayanam Shrutishatehi Samprochamanam Prabhum Satyam Jnanam Ananta Murti Mamalam Shuddhatmakam Sambhaje Omkaram Nigamaika Vedya Manisham. How to understand Omkar? Only through Vedas, no other source. Nigama Eka Vedya Manisham Vedanta Tattvas Padam. Omkara contains the essence of Vedanta. Chotpatya Sthitinath Hetum Amalam. That is pure. Omkara is pure. But through its Maya Shakti, it creates, sustains, and absorbs world. Utpatti Sthiti Hetum Amalam Vishwasya Vishwatmakam. And not only it creates and also, it also enters the universe, part of the universe. That is what we saw now, Sakshi. Vishwatrana Parayanam. It always protects the universe. It doesn't leave it just like that. Suti Sataihi Samprochyamanam Prabhum. Thousands, hundreds of Veda Vakyas are there speaking about Omkara. Satyam Jnanam Anantamurti Mangalam Shuddhatmakam Tam Bhaje. That Omkara, which represents Satyam Anantam Jnanam. Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Murtim Amalam Shuddhatmakam Tam Bhaje. That is essence of purity. So there is nothing beyond Omkara. Omkara is the highest. So that is why we find in the story of Subramanya, Subramanya asked Brahma, do you know the meaning of Omkara? Then Brahma says so many things, but he is not saying what he should be saying. Then he is put in jail. Then same Subramanya teaches the meaning of Omkara to Parameswara as a child. We see this in Subramanya story. So that is the essence of Omkara because it represents Maya as well as Parabrahma. That is why this Omityekaksharam Brahma, Vyaharan Ma Manusmarana, that shloka not only comes in Gita, it comes from Upanishad. So after all, Gita is the essence of Upanishad. It comes from Upanishad. Om iti tava nirdeshtri maya asmakam mridopakartri bho. Mrida is an address like we saw before, the source of benevolence, source of comfort. Bho, respectful address. Samba sada shiva shambho shankara sharanam me tava charana yugam. We stop with this for the day. We continue on next section. Any questions?
Those who have questions, please unmute yourself, turn on your video, and please ask questions. Any questions, anybody? Please unmute yourself, turn on your video, and ask questions.
I think no questions.
Yeah, I think Meenakshi ji has a question. Meenakshi ji, go ahead.
Yeah. Namaskaram, Mama. I have a question. I heard somebody was mentioning it before that when ladies chant Om, we have to do it as Aum and not as Om. Is that true? Is that
Yes. Yes, that is correct. It is prohibited for ladies to, because Veda is prohibited for ladies, or Om is a part of Veda. Om is the starting point of Veda. So Veda starts from Om. So that is why Om is not. Now, having said so much about Om, if it is prohibited for ladies, what does it mean? It means that you can listen to Om, you need not chant Om, and whatever, see, the big advantage is in all these Shastra rules is that whenever it provides the stipulation, it also provides the equal benefit. Now, ladies have been given the benefit that whatever benefit is accruing to the male by chanting Veda will accrue to them by chanting a stotra without Om. That is given in the Shastras. So, that is the benefit which they get. So, Om is not necessary for them for getting the same benefit because Om is not prescribed for them. Om is prescribed only for those who chant Vedas. So, but you can listen, just as you can listen to Vedas, you can listen to Omkara.
okay? But then, just as a follow-up on the same thing, see, I also do Sudarshan Kriya. We do chant Om in that. So does it mean I cannot chant Om while doing Sudarshan Kriya?
Well, these are all matters where differences of opinion exist. Now, what I mentioned just now is the old school, the traditional school. That is what our Srimutham will encourage. But there are other new schools where different ideas are being put forward. So I won't be able to say anything on that.
Okay. 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 Thank you, ma'am.
Any other last questions? No more questions, Guruji.
Okay, right. We close. नमः पार्वतीपतये हर हर महादेव सर्वत्र गोविन्दनाम संकीर्तनं गोविन्द गोविन्द राजराजेश्वर्यै जय जय